The city of Constantinople, a crossroads of civilizations, stood as a monument of power and tension. The year was 1439, and though the Ottoman forces loomed beyond its walls, life inside thrived in a fragile peace. Within its winding streets, two destinies prepared to collide, unaware of the tragedy that awaited. On the northern side of the city, Cassius Valerius, a Roman nobleman, surveyed the crowded marketplace. He was tall, with piercing green eyes that held the arrogance of a man born into privilege. Yet, despite his wealth, Cassius bore a restless soul, a longing for something beyond the marble halls of his family estate. In the quieter district near the old mosques, Amina ibn Khalid sat on the edge of a fountain, sketching the architectural beauty around her. The daughter of a respected Muslim scholar, Amina was known for her fierce intelligence and quiet elegance. Unlike other noble daughters, she dreamed not of jewels but of freedom, of knowledge unrestricted by borders or names. They were Destiny forced their paths to meet. It was a day like any other when fate intervened. Cassius, driven by impulse, wandered beyond his usual routes. Curious about the city's eastern district, a place forbidden for most Romans. It was here, in the dim glow of the afternoon sun, that he saw her. Amina, lost in thought, failed to notice the nobleman's stare. She was sketching the arches of an old Roman ruin, unaware that her fingers had smudged charcoal across her cheek. Cassius observed, intrigued by her focus, by the way she viewed his people's history as something worthy of admiration instead of conquest. Their first words were not of love but curiosity. "You're drawing Roman ruins," Cassius noted. Amina looked up, startled. Her gaze measured him, weighing his presence. "They are more than Roman," she replied. "They belong to history itself." Cassius smirked, sensing something different in her, a defiance. Unlike the polished courtiers he knew, days turned into weeks, and their meetings became dangerous whispers exchanged under the cover of twilight. Amina spoke of philosophy, poetry, and the secrets of the city, while Cassius shared stories of battle, honor, and forbidden emotions. They were opposites, but their hearts understood a language no boundary could silence. Yet, love was never simple. Rumors began to stir. A Roman noble was seen in the eastern quarter. Amina's father, unaware of her hidden affair, warned her of the consequences should such an act be discovered. Cassius, too, faced pressure. His family expected an alliance through marriage. Not reckless love with an enemy's daughter, but love does not heed warnings. One evening, under the heavy sky, Cassius touched Amina's hand for the first time. It was a brief moment, a silent confession, a promise sealed without words. They knew their love was impossible, but neither had the strength to turn away. What they did not know was that someone was watching. Betrayal comes in many forms, unseen behind a carved pillar. Karim al-Rashid, a man loyal to Amina's father, had seen enough. To him, this was not love, but treason, a disgrace upon his master's name, a stain that must be erased. As Cassius and Amina whispered dreams of escape, Karim vanished into the shadows. His silence would not last forever, and so, without knowing, the lovers had begun a journey that could only end in pain. Secrets thrive in the dark, and Cassius and Amina's love was no exception. Despite the growing tension in the city, their meetings continued, whispered conversations in hidden courtyards, stolen glances across crowded streets. Every moment was a risk, yet neither could turn away. They spoke of escape, of a world where love mattered more than blood or borders. But such dreams were delicate things, easily shattered. Amina, ever the realist, knew their time was borrowed. "The world will never allow us," she told him one evening, her voice carrying the weight of truth. Cassius, defiant as always, held her gaze. "Then we will rewrite the world." But even love was no match for fate. The city was changing. The Ottoman army gathered beyond Constantinople's walls, preparing for what history would call its greatest siege. Inside, political schemes and betrayals festered, and among them was a man determined to destroy what he had seen. The forbidden love between a Roman nobleman and a Muslim scholar's daughter. Karim al-Rashid, the silent observer from the shadows, had kept his knowledge hidden for weeks. But now, with tensions rising, he saw an opportunity. To him, this was not about love, it was about honor, family, and loyalty. And if Amina would not listen to reason, then Cassius must be removed. That night he sent a message. Love can withstand storms, but not daggers in the back. Cassius arrived at their usual meeting place. Ruined chapel that time had claimed, its walls now covered in ivy. Amina was late. Too late. Then the sound of footsteps. Instead of Amina's voice, it was steel against stone, shadows moving with deadly purpose. 3 armed men emerged, blades reflecting the moonlight. You were warned, Karim's voice echoed. You did not listen. Cassius understood, but he did not run. This was the price of loving her, and he would pay it. If Amina was safe, nothing else mattered. The fight was brutal. Blades clashed, blood spilled. But love does not die so easily. Cassius fought with all he had, yet fate was never on his side. One misstep. A blade sank into his shoulder, searing pain cutting through him like fire. A mortal wound, not quick, but deep enough that even the strongest man would fall. And fall he did, as his body collapsed against the chapel's stone. The only thought in his mind was her Amina. Would she ever know what had happened? Would she think he had abandoned her? Or would she forever wait, unaware that their story had been stolen by cruel hands? Darkness took him before he could find an answer. Pain, that was the first thing Cassius felt. The second was cold iron chains wrapped around his wrists, the weight of his broken body pressing against stone. He was alive, but barely. His vision blurred, the distant hum of voices twisting through the air. Then came a voice he knew. Amina. She stood before him, her dark eyes wide with terror. What have they done to you? She whispered, kneeling by his side, her fingers trembling as they touched his blood-stained face. Cassius managed a weak smile. Nothing compared to what losing you would feel. But love could not undo what had already been set in motion. There was no escape. No mercy for traitors. Cassius had been branded a Roman disgrace. Accused of consorting with the enemy, Amina too was no longer safe. Her father had been told the truth. She must renounce her love, or be cast out forever. Yet she refused. If they punish him, then they punish me too. But her father was unmoved. This is not love, Amina. This is ruin. A choice had to be made, love or survival. And Amina made hers. Under the watchful eyes of soldiers, Cassius and Amina shared their final moment. If I had another life, I would love you and everyone, Cassius whispered, knowing he would not leave this place alive. Amina clutched his hands, tears threatening to break her resolve. I will find you, she swore. In the next life, in every dream, I will find you. Then they tore her away. Cassius was led to his fate, his love left behind. And the city that had once been their secret sanctuary turned into the place of their greatest sius. Sorrow. Cassius did not leave Constantinople alive. His death was swift, a nobleman erased from history, a lover remembered only in whispers. Amina disappeared into exile, her heart forever carrying the weight of what was lost. But love does not die with the body. Love lives in the memories we carry, in the longing that lingers between lifetimes. And somewhere, beyond time itself, 2 souls waited, searching for the life where they would finally belong to each other again.